Adam, what can you tell us about how we got to this point? How did the deal get done?
Well, Sage, the Colts and the Eagles were in discussions for the last 3 weeks. I think really from the day after Jared Goff got traded from Los Angeles to Detroit and Matthew Stafford went from Detroit to Los Angeles. The talks heated up at that moment and really have been going on for 19 straight days. And they were at the brink of the deal the whole time, but it was only until today that the Eagles finally signed off on the agreement that will send a third-round pick this year to Philadelphia and a conditional second-round pick next year that could become a first-round pick in return to the Eagles from the Colts. Each side gets what it wants, right? Carson Wentz wanted out of Philadelphia, did not want to be back there. The Colts wanted Carson Wentz to work with Frank Reich, their head coach, who was his former offensive coordinator in Philadelphia. Frank Reich is a Carson Wentz believer and the biggest proponent of this trade. And that's why the trade gets done, because Frank Reich believes that he could salvage Carson. Carson wanted out of Philadelphia. The Eagles recognized they were better off moving on and getting the picks in return. And that's exactly what unfolded here, with the Eagles now obviously having to eat some dead cap money, but not having to pay the roster bonus that's due next month of about $10 million. So there are all sorts of implications, and it's a continuation of the offseason quarterback movement that we've been expecting. We've now seen the first and second overall picks from the 2016 draft traded 19 days apart. First Jared Goff, now Carson Wentz. Wentz has a new home. The Eagles now have Jalen Hurts as their quarterback, but I think that they'll be looking to bring in competition of some sort. I don't think they're automatically just going to hand the job to Jalen Hurts and say, you are the guy here moving forward. I think that the Eagles will be looking. They've got a lot of ammunition now built up with the extra picks, and we'll continue to see the ripple effects of this trade that was agreed to just a short time ago.
Adam, a lot to get to there. We're going to have Louis Riddick join us in a second as well. But 19 straight days of talks back and forth. That's almost 3 weeks. What was the key, the icing on the cake for everybody to give this the green light?
I think in the end, ultimately, the Eagles wanted to make sure they were getting as much as they could in return for Carson Wentz. And they spoke to a number of teams. And the Bears were interested at one point in time. Others checked in to see what the price would be for Carson Wentz. But ultimately, the match that made the most sense was Carson Wentz in Indianapolis. And I think Matthew Stafford helped drive his trade to Los Angeles. And I don't want to say Carson Wentz did that here, because it wasn't as forceful as Stafford was. But in this particular case, I think Carson Wentz really did want to wind up in Indianapolis, working with a familiar, comfortable face in Frank Reich. And Frank Reich wanted to go with Carson Wentz. And I think this, Sage, the Colts looked at the quarterback landscape and surveyed all the quarterbacks out there. And while they're giving up a future conditional second-round pick that could become a first, they said, we believe that Carson Wentz is the best option that we can get on our team right now. And so the Colts offer was what it was. And they were strong, and they increased the offer in the end. But they felt like Carson Wentz was a natural fit in their offense on that team with that particular organization, and now we'll see how that works out.
And once again, the Frank Reich angle is absolutely huge. The familiarity for both sides, that's obviously going to play a big role. I want to ask you real quick about Jalen Hurts, because the assumption naturally would be, okay, they drafted him. He's next in line. He's their guy. Should that not be what we're automatically assuming, that he is the starting quarterback now for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Well, those are all true. Yeah. He is next in the line. He is the starting quarterback, but that does not preclude the Eagles from going out and seeking another quarterback to bring in to challenge Jalen Hurts, to compete with Jalen Hurts. Again, I don't think that they're just going to hand this job to Jalen Hurts and say, you are the guy. And also, this goes back to show you that they didn't hire their new head coach, Nick Sirianni, to fix Carson Wentz. They hired Nick Sirianni because they believed he was the best man for the job moving forward. They didn't know which quarterback or quarterbacks he was going to be working with, but they knew there was a real chance that Carson Wentz was going to be traded from Philadelphia if the Eagles got the right offer. And in the end, they made the determination that they did, getting a third-round pick this year and a conditional second that could become a first in 2022.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.